Hello ladies and gentlemen, Top Hat Gaming Man here. On this channel in the past we have taken in-depth looks at various handheld gaming devices and various cancelled games consoles. They are both two running themes for this channel. In fact, we looked at a cancelled gaming handheld just 6 weeks ago on this channel when we looked at Nintendo's Project Atlantis device. Today we are going to be looking at yet another cancelled gaming handheld. Yeah. One system we have looked at in an immense amount of detail in the past on this channel was 1989's Atari Lynx. This may have been the Atari company's first released handheld with a whole library of games. But Atari had plans in the pipeline for a handheld gaming device a whole decade prior to this. The platform we are going to be looking at today is the Atari Cosmos. The Atari Cosmos is a cancelled console which was to be used as both a handheld and tabletop device. Although as mentioned the device may have been canned prior to a release, surprisingly though, despite all of this, a small number of units were actually produced and are now coveted collector's pieces within the field of retro gaming. The Cosmos was designed and created by 3 employees of Atari called Alan Alcorn, Harry Jenkins and Roger Hector, and they began their work on the product in 1978. To begin with, Atari were so impressed with the idea of the device, they went so far to actually purchase nearly all available rights to holographic items, as a way to possibly be able to capitalise off this somewhat innovative product. The device would feature cutting-edge tech for them at the time, powered by an AC adapter, and would have been able to support up to 2 players. The Atari Cosmos was set to feature a display which was going to be holographic with 3D effect images mixed with moving LED images. It was going to be fairly similar to other small electronic games of the time, which were mostly using LED based displays. However, this was going to superimpose a 2-layer holographic image over the LEDs to create a more impressive visual effect. In addition to this, Atari installed 2 small lights which would illuminate either one or both of the holographic images, depending on which part of the game you were in. This would have made this product stand out from the competition, such as Mattel Electronics and Coleco Electronics, whose handhelds utilised a more rudimentary flashing LED screen. One of the unique selling points for this item at the time would have been that it was going to have 9 games available to play on it. Most of the competition at the time only allowed for 1 game per device. In fact, the only handheld system I can think of from this time frame that offered interchangeable cartridges was the very basic MB Microvision, which saw a release in 1979. Like the Microvision, the Atari Cosmos was also set to feature interchangeable cartridges. However, there was a little bit of sneakiness regarding this feature. Whilst consumers would have had to procure each individual cartridge, the games themselves were already built into the device, and the cartridges, which is a term I will use loosely, merely told the device which game was allowed to be run on the system. So I guess the cartridges functioned a little bit like amiibos in a way. The content would have already been on the system, but you would have needed to purchase key-like devices to unlock it. To put it frankly, Atari were basically mis-selling this product before it even hit the shelves. So the carts were basically a shell with some contacts and a hologram installed, and that was it. The only perk is that the games were apparently going to be retailed for only $10 to $12, which is quite a lot cheaper than amiibos today when you take inflation into account over the last bloody 40 years. Another way in which Atari were mis-selling what this product was that they were claiming the holographic images were both fully lifelike and fully 3-dimensional. Obviously you can't argue with the fact that at the time any kind of improvement of the current graphics available were often sold as being lifelike and realistic. This is still a ludicrous stretch though. That and the images on the holographic overlays didn't actually affect the game in any way, shape or form. They were overlays, and that was it. There were 2 at most, and their visibility literally depended on which LED light was on for that portion of the game you were playing. Obviously they looked very good at the time, but this type of hyperbole is probably another contributing factor as to why this product never came to the market, and a perfect example of how Atari's over-the-top hyperbolic marketing would lead to their downfall in years to come. It was all a bit Peter Molyneux really. In terms of system specifications, the Atari Cosmos apparently consisted of the following. It contained a COPS 444L CPU, a graphic mode which featured holographic backgrounds and programmable LEDs, lighting that included 2 dual non-reflective incandescent lights for A and B holoptic scenes, and needed a 10.5 volt AC power supply. The games would have included Asteroids, Basketball, Dodgem, Football, Outlaw, Roadrunner, Sea Battle, Space Invaders and Superman. Prior to the cancellation of this little monster, Atari showed off the device at the New York Toy Fair in 1981. Reviewers, quite rightly, were apparently very critical of the device. Clearly, the experts could see what a fast this device actually was. Atari did, however, allegedly manage to secure 8,000 pre-orders of the device at this show. Apparently, their engineering logs, which advised there was going to be 250 units created. However, there is no evidence to confirm whether all of these were actually manufactured or not. And if so, where are they all now? Perhaps they are buried somewhere in the New Mexico desert, in a different crypt to that of E.T. We can only all imagine. Anyway, by the end of 1981, the system had been shelved. No one really knows why. However, it can be speculated that this happened because of the negative backlash this item was getting from reviewers. A chap called Steve Provence, who worked for the company employed by Atari to manufacture the holograms, is alleged to have said, while working at the Atari Holoptics lab, there was a wall stacked with Cosmos cases and hardware, perhaps as many as 1,000. When the money dried up and the lab was closing, some people from Atari came in and hauled all of the hardware away, and then the lab closed. Atari had gone so far as to even produce boxes for this product, along with sales flyers which were actually sent out to various distributors of Atari products. The Atari Cosmos was not only finished, but it was pretty much ready to go. However, the final product was never meant to be, as Atari ended up pulling the plug on the whole project and never mentioned the thing again. The head of the Cosmos project, Alan Alcorn, stated that Ray Kazar was too scared to take a chance on the handheld tabletop market. The Atari 2600 or 2600 VCS was the only thing they had faith in. The cancellation of the Cosmos was one of many innovative projects which was unceremoniously ended by Atari over this time period. This in turn led to Atari losing a number of its most creative and innovative employees, who left the company as a result. Al Alcorn was amongst these workers, who walked from the company in 1981. Whilst the Cosmos may have been cancelled, Atari still went on to use the hologram technology which they referred to as holoptics. The technology was implemented via the use of placing hologram stickers on game cartridges and hardware as an additional way to prove their product's authenticity against counterfeit goods. So there was one tiny silver lining for the company amongst all of this, when it comes to experimenting with holograms. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the brief history of the Atari Cosmos, one of the many gaming platforms that was cancelled before it could reach its full potential. On this channel I shall continue to look at various cancelled systems, and there are a number of videos on here you can go back and watch too. Which cancelled gaming platform would you like to see me cover in detail next? Thank you for watching today's video. Do not forget to like, comment and subscribe for in-depth gaming videos on this channel every single week. Also, if you never want to miss a video, make sure you hit the notification bell to stay notified. Yeah! My channel, Top Hat Gaming Man, is partly funded from the fantastic support and donations I receive from my lovely Patreon benefactors. So shout outs to Carl Johnson, Shizuka Kobayashi, Andy Aldridge, Richard Clark, Michael Keneally, Greg Hooper, Harold Webb, Since Spacies, Kevin Verhaley, David Mountford, Andrew Bazanski, Edward O'Reilly, Peter Dawn, Tom Elliott, Mark S. Hines, Gary Pinkett, the Gaming Muso, and all of my other patrons. You people motivate me when it comes to pumping in all of my free time every month into making videos like this. So as always, from the bottom of my heart, thank you ever so much. Cheerio!